All right, welcome to the wrap-up phase of our study of AP Human Geography as we're prepping and getting ready for the AP test. This video is going to talk specifically about some keywords or phrases that you will want to understand the meaning of when you're trying to write or to answer FRQ questions. I stole the slides from a guy named Ken Keller, but I am, of course, Ms. Gall, and I'll be your host for the lecture. So, a few things to know first of all. That effective answers to the questions depend in large part on a clear understanding and an execution of the meanings of the important directive words. In English, you gotta understand the way in which you're being asked to write. Okay. These are the words that indicate, again, how you're presenting your material to your reader. So if you describe when you're asked to compare, or if you list when you've been asked to evaluate, that makes your response less than satisfactory. It means you're probably not going to get points for it. Your essay can only begin to be correct if you answer the question that is asked and answer it directly. Okay. I'm here to do something that the AP exams cannot, and I've been trying to do this over the course of the year and provide you with some handouts and things like that. But that is to say, help with the meanings and the applications of some key terms that you're likely to find in trying to answer these questions. We've got a few slides that list a bunch of these key terms to talk about them. So, first thing you got to know, if you're being asked to analyze, it means that you need to break something down into its parts or its pieces and look at the nature and relationship of those parts and pieces. Typically, you might find these in answer to question why. If you're being asked to assess or to evaluate, you need to place a value judgment on or character of something. So you need to appraise it or evaluate it, talk about positive points and negative points, give an opinion about the value of, discuss the advantages or disadvantages of. Okay. So the important thing is that what you're doing really is you're giving some kind of a judgment about it, and you're pointing out goods and bads, and that's what judgments do. Okay, if you're being asked to compare, what you're really being asked to do is examine something and look for and note really what are some of those similarities and differences. Okay, but specifically if you're being asked to compare, most of the time you're looking at the similarities. If you're being asked to contrast, really what you're doing is examining in order to show the dissimilarities or how things are different from each other. Right? If you're being asked to describe, means that they want you to give an account of, to tell about something, to explain it in a way that you create basically a picture with your words. Okay, this is a little bit more like you're writing in English class. Maybe. If you're being asked to discuss something, you want to talk about, write about. You want to consider, examine the argument from different points of view. Okay. You want to maybe debate or present the different sides of something. The whole point is, right, describe relatively short, discuss going to be much longer. If you're being asked to explain, what you really want to do is just make clear what's going on, right? Explain the causes or the reasons for something, to explain it in detail, to tell the meaning of. If you're asked to explain something, make sure that you read carefully so that you know what you're explaining, and that when you're explaining, you are addressing the right number of examples, that you are being specific to the prompt itself. Don't worry about trying to read between the lines of the question. Okay? Answer what you're asked. Answer what you're asked. To get a 5, what you need to do once you've got that basic answer, you need to elaborate on it. Okay, so elaborate is a fancy way of saying that you need to explain it even more. We're going to go through some of the ways to do that. You got to elaborate on your basic premise. Okay. Some other keywords or terms you might find in the prompt: define. That means you're being asked for a definition. So be sure that you're specifically defining what the term or the concept. They say choose either or. You don't need to do both. You need to do one, and then make sure that you pay attention to how many examples the question is looking for, if a specific number is noted. Okay, if it asks you about key features or factors, make sure that you're discussing no less than 2 or 3 ideas in detail. Okay, And again, look for a specific number of examples that the question is asking for. This is important. Again, do what you're asked. If the prompt asks you to list, you don't need to elaborate. You don't need to explain. You don't need to define. You can list using commas, not bullet points. If you're being asked to identify, right, you need to kind of point out or explain a little bit, and then you need to discuss it at a little bit more length. Right, so that's different than a list. A list you're not adding any extra discussion on. But if you're being asked to identify, then you want to go ahead and discuss a little bit. So that's been our slides talking a little bit about what are some of the key terms or ideas. There's another video that's going to go through and talk a little bit about kind of the what to do and how to do it when you're writing the FRQ. So make sure that you watch that one too. And it would be worth it to go through. I know in class today you should be getting a handout that gives you some of those operator terms. If you look back through your notes and your handouts for the year, you should have a packet that explains some of those. If you can't find those things, please, 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 please come in and see me. And I would be absolutely delighted to give you an extra copy. If you have questions about what these things mean, or how do I do this one or that one, please, please, please come in and see me. Okay? And I will answer your questions. I will help you out any way I can. So until the next time.